Close your eyes now and let your body sink deeper into this moment. Feel the weight of your limbs melting into the surface beneath you, as if you're being held by something vast and gentle. Your breath naturally slows, and in this quiet space, between day and night, between waking and sleeping, something extraordinary is waiting to be discovered. You see, your mind is not the passive observer you once believed it to be. It is not sitting quietly in the corner of your experience, simply watching life unfold. No, your consciousness is the artist, the painter, the gentle creator, standing before an infinite canvas. Every thought you think, every feeling you feel, every assumption you hold about yourself and your world, these are the brushstrokes painting your reality into existence. Imagine for a moment that you are standing before a mirror. But this is not an ordinary mirror, is the mirror of consciousness itself. As you gaze into its depths, you begin to notice something remarkable. The reflection looking back at you is not showing you what is, but what you believe to be. The mirror doesn't lie, but it also doesn't show objective truth. It shows you the world filtered through the lens of your deepest assumptions, your most private thoughts, your quietest fears and hopes. This mirror has been with you since birth, faithfully reflecting back the internal landscape of your being. When you were small, perhaps you looked into this mirror and saw a world where love had conditions, where safety was uncertain, where your worth depended on performance. The mirror simply reflected these early learnings, these neural pathways carved by repetition and emotion. And so your reality became a perfect reflection of these inner beliefs. But here's what's beautiful about this. Mirror of consciousness is not fixed. It's not a photograph frozen in time. It's a living, breathing reflection that changes the moment your inner world shifts. The quantum field that surrounds you, that moves through you, that is you, it responds not to your surface desires, not to your wishful thinking, but to your deepest, most authentic assumptions about what is possible. As you breathe in this moment, feel how your awareness itself is a creative force. Your attention is not neutral, it's not a passive flashlight illuminating what's already there. Your attention is like a gentle hand reaching into the field of infinite possibility, selecting which potential becomes your lived experience. The observer effect, that mysterious dance between consciousness and reality, is happening right now in this very breath. Your nervous system knows this truth. Deep in your body, below the chatter of your thinking mind, your cells are constantly reading the environment, just the physical environment, but the emotional and energetic environment created by your beliefs. When you hold the assumption that you are safe, your nervous system broadcasts safety. When you assume you are loved, your field emanates love. When you believe you are worthy, your entire being becomes a magnet for experiences that confirm this worthiness. This is why affirmations sometimes fail, why positive thinking can feel empty, because your conscious mind might be saying one thing, but your nervous system, your deeper truth is broadcasting something entirely different. The mirror of consciousness reflects not your words, but your embodied reality. It shows you not what you think you believe, but what you actually, deeply, cellularly know to be true. Tonight, as you rest in this space between thoughts, you can begin to sense the fluid nature of this mirror. You can feel how it shimmers and shifts with each breath, how it responds to the gentlest changes in your inner climate. Perhaps you notice how thinking a soft, loving thought about yourself creates a subtle shift in the reflection. Maybe you feel how releasing a long-held judgment allows the mirror to show you something new, something more spacious. The quantum field that scientists speak of, this invisible web of energy and information that connects all things. It's not separate from you. You are not observing it from the outside. You are intimately woven into its fabric. Your thoughts are quantum events. Your emotions are waves in this field. Your beliefs are the gravitational forces that bend space and time around your experience. This is both humbling and empowering. Humbling because it means you cannot blame the mirror for what it shows you. The reflection is always accurate, always faithful to your inner state. But empowering because it means you are not a victim of circumstance. You are the artist, the creator, the gentle architect of your own experience. As you lie here, breathing softly, feel how your heart beats in rhythm with this truth. Each heartbeat is a quantum event. Each breath is a choice point where infinite possibilities collapse into the single thread of your experience. Your consciousness is not trapped in your skull, it extends outward, touching everything, influencing everything, creating everything. The observer within you, that silent, aware, eternal part of your being, has been painting your world with the colors of your inner landscape since the moment you were born. Some of these colors might be shadows from the past, patterns inherited from family, culture, or old wounds. Others might be bright hues of possibility, dreams waiting to be born, love waiting to be expressed. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, you can rest in the knowing that this mirror of consciousness is always available to you. It's not something you need to earn or achieve. It's not something that requires perfection or enlightenment. It's simply what you are, a conscious being, eternally creative, eternally free to choose which inner landscape you wish to cultivate. And in this choosing, in this gentle awareness of your own creative power, you begin to understand that you are not seeing reality as it is. You are seeing reality as you are. The world is not happening to you, it is happening through you, with you, as you. You are both the observer and the observed, the painter and the painting, the dreamer and the dream. What would it feel like to paint your inner landscape with the colors of peace tonight? What would shift in the mirror if you chose to see yourself as worthy of love, as capable of healing, as deserving of joy? What new reality might emerge if you allowed your deepest assumptions to soften, to expand, to include possibilities you've never dared to consider? Rest now in this gentle mystery, letting these questions dissolve into the peaceful darkness behind your eyes. Let your breathing slow even further now, each exhale releasing you deeper into this moment of discovery. Feel how your body continues to settle, as if you're sinking into an ocean of warm, luminous possibility. Here, in this space between thoughts, something magnificent is always occurring, something so subtle and profound that most people pass their entire lives without noticing it. Before you opened your eyes this morning, before you formed your first thought, before you chose your first feeling, everything existed in a state of beautiful potential. Imagine an ocean of pure light, waves upon waves of possibility dancing in eternal motion. These waves carry within them every conversation you might have, every emotion you might feel, every choice you might make, every reality you might experience. This ocean is not a metaphor, it is the very fabric of existence. The quantum field that scientists have discovered underlies all of reality. In this field, nothing is fixed, nothing is predetermined. Every potential future exists simultaneously, like overlapping melodies in a cosmic symphony, all playing at once until the moment when your consciousness gently touches one note and makes it real. Your attention is the conductor of this symphony. Soft, focused, infinitely creative, your awareness moves through the field of possibility like a gentle hand selecting which wave will become your experience. You are not merely watching your life unfold, you are actively, continuously, lovingly choosing it into existence with each breath you take. Feel this now as you rest here in the darkness behind your closed eyes. With each inhalation, you are drawing possibility into your being. With each exhalation, you are releasing one particular timeline into manifestation. Your breath is not just oxygen moving through your lungs, is consciousness itself, shaping reality with each rhythmic exchange. This is the secret that quantum physics has revealed to us. Observation changes everything. When you look at something, when you place your attention upon it, you collapse the wave of possibility into a single, concrete experience. Before your observation, 1,000 different versions of this moment existed. Your relationship could unfold in countless ways. Your health could manifest in infinite patterns. Your creative expression could take any form imaginable. But then you observe, you focus, you choose, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously on. All those infinite possibilities gently collapse into the one reality you are now experiencing. This is not a limitation. It is the most creative act in the universe. You are continuously collapsing infinite potential into finite experience. Painting with the colors of possibility itself, your nervous system understands this process intimately. Deep in your body, below the level of conscious thought, your cells are constantly reading the field of possibility around you. When you feel safe, your nervous system opens to possibilities of growth, connection, and joy. When you feel threatened, it narrows your field of awareness, collapsing possibilities into patterns of protection and survival. This is why your emotional state is so crucial to the reality you create. Your feelings are not just internal experiences. They are the gravitational forces that bend the field of possibility into your reality. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because you are that powerful, that creative, that intimately connected to the fabric of existence itself. Tonight, as you rest in this awareness, you can feel how your heartbeat is a rhythm of creation. Each beat is a quantum event, a moment when infinite timelines converge into the single thread of your lived experience. Your heart is not just pumping blood, is drumming the rhythm of reality itself. Each beat a choice point where you select which possibility becomes your truth. Can you sense it now? The way your awareness moves through the field of infinite potential, like a gentle breeze through a field of flowers. Some possibilities it touches lightly and passes by. Others it embraces, draws close, breathes into being. Your consciousness is not trapped in your head, extends outward, touching everything, influencing everything, creating everything. This is what the ancient mystics meant when they spoke of consciousness as the ground of being. This is what quantum physicists are discovering when they find that reality is not solid, not fixed, but fluid, responsive, alive. You are not a separate being observing an objective world. You are consciousness itself, dreaming reality into existence moment by moment, breath by breath. And in this dreaming, you are not alone. Every other conscious being is also moving through this field of possibility, their awareness also collapsing, waves into experience. Sometimes your fields of consciousness overlap, creating shared realities, collective experiences. Sometimes they resonate, creating harmony. Sometimes they interfere, creating complexity and challenge. This is the dance of existence, billions of conscious beings, each one a unique point of awareness, all swimming in the same infinite ocean of possibility, all continuously choosing which waves to collapse into reality. Your individual choices ripple outward, affecting the field for everyone. The love you choose to embody, the peace you choose to cultivate, the joy you choose to express, these become available possibilities for others to discover and collapse into their own experience. As you breathe now, feel how each breath is both deeply personal and universally connected. You are choosing your reality, yes, but you are also contributing to the collective field of human possibility. Every time you collapse a wave of potential into an experience of love, you make it easier for others to find that same possibility. Every time you choose healing over wounding, growth over stagnation, connection over isolation, you strengthen these possibilities in the field for everyone. This is your true power, not the power to control or force, but the power to choose, to focus, to collapse infinite possibility into the singular beauty of this moment. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the artist of experience. You are not at the mercy of random events. You are the conductor of the symphony of your own becoming. The waves of possibility continue to dance around you, through you, as you. They do not stop. They do not diminish. Even as you collapse one set of possibilities into this moment, new waves arise, new potentials emerge, new timelines become available. The ocean of possibility is inexhaustible, and you are forever free to choose which waves to embrace. What possibilities are dancing around you right now, waiting for your gentle attention to collapse them into reality? What waves of potential are calling to you in the darkness, offering themselves to be breathed into existence? What new timeline is ready to emerge from the infinite field of your becoming? Rest now in this knowing, feeling how your very presence is a creative act, how your awareness is a gift to the universe, how your choice to be conscious is the most profound contribution you can make to the ongoing creation of reality itself. Allow your awareness to drift even deeper now, like a gentle feather floating down through layers of consciousness. Your body has found its rhythm of rest, your breath has settled into its natural flow, and in this peaceful descent, you arrive at something truly extraordinary, vast, luminous theater that has been playing within you since the moment you were born, deep beneath the surface of your waking thoughts. Below the daily chatter of your mind, there exists a magnificent cinema. This is not a physical place, but a realm of pure consciousness where stories play continuously, projected onto the screen of your experience by the invisible hand of your subconscious mind. The films that play here are not random, they are the carefully curated collection of every belief, every pattern, every assumption about reality that you have absorbed throughout your life. Picture this inner cinema now, as you rest in this quiet space. The theater is vast, with endless rows of seats extending into soft darkness. But you are not sitting in the audience, you are both the projectionist and the viewer, the screen and the story itself. The films that play here are not entertainment. They are the blueprints of your reality, the invisible scripts that guide how you interpret every moment of your existence. These subconscious programs began forming when you were very small, when your mind was as open and receptive as fresh clay. Your young nervous system, desperate to make sense of the world, began recording everything. The way love was expressed in your family, the unspoken rules about safety and danger, the quiet assumptions about what you deserved, what was possible, who you were allowed to become. Each experience became a frame in the film, each emotional memory a scene that would play again and again. Perhaps there was the movie of Love Has Conditions, where affection came only when you performed correctly. Maybe there was The World Is Not Safe, where your nervous system learned to scan constantly for threats. Or I Am Not Enough, where every interaction became evidence of your fundamental inadequacy. These films were not created with malicious intent. They were your young mind's brilliant attempt to navigate a complex world, to find patterns and meaning in the chaos of human experience. Your subconscious mind, like a devoted librarian, carefully catalogued every emotional truth, every relational pattern, every survival strategy that seemed to work. But here's what's beautiful about this inner cinema. The projectionist subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between past and present. It simply plays the films it has, over and over, casting their images onto the screen of your current experience. When you meet someone new, the film of how people behave begins playing, and you unconsciously expect this person to fit the familiar patterns. When you face a challenge, the movie of what I'm capable of starts rolling, and you automatically assume you know the outcome. This is why your outer world so often mirrors your inner world. Not because reality is fixed, but because you're subconscious. Cinema is continuously projecting its stories onto the quantum field of possibility. The observer effect works not just with your conscious attention, but with these deeper, more persistent patterns of expectation and belief. Your nervous system is the projection equipment in this cinema. When a familiar story begins playing, perhaps the film of I'm going to be rejected, your nervous system immediately begins broadcasting the emotional frequency of that story. Your body tenses, your heart rate changes, your breathing becomes shallow. You begin emanating the energy of rejection, and the quantum field, responsive as always, begins collapsing possibilities that match this frequency. But tonight, as you rest in this gentle awareness, you can do something remarkable. You can become a conscious observer of your own inner cinema, not to judge the films that play there, not to criticize the stories your young mind created, but simply to witness them with the compassion of someone who understands that these patterns once served a purpose. Imagine yourself settling into a comfortable seat in this inner theater, watching the films of your subconscious with the same gentle curiosity you might bring to clouds drifting across a peaceful sky. Some of these movies might be beautiful stories of love, safety, creativity, possibility. Others might be more challenging tales of limitation, fear, unworthiness, or separation. As you watch, notice how these films are not solid, not permanent. They are projections, images of light and shadow dancing on the screen of your awareness. They feel real because they have been playing for so long, because they have been reinforced by repetition and emotional charge. But they are still just movies. Still just stories your mind has been telling itself about the nature of reality. Some of these films might be playing in multiple theaters simultaneously. Perhaps there's the main feature, I am capable and worthy, playing on the big screen of your conscious mind. But in the smaller theaters of your deeper patterns, other movies might be running. But what if I fail? Or everyone else has it figured out except me? These conflicting stories create what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. The feeling of being pulled in different directions by competing beliefs. Your conscious mind might be affirming one thing while your nervous system is broadcasting something entirely different. This is why change can feel so challenging. It's not enough to simply choose new thoughts. You must also gently update the films playing in your subconscious cinema, allowing new stories to gradually replace the old ones. This updating happens not through force or criticism, but through the gentle, persistent introduction of new experiences, new emotional patterns, new evidence that contradicts the old stories. Each time you act from love instead of fear, each time you choose growth over safety, each time you treat yourself with compassion instead of criticism, you are creating new frames for the films of your subconscious. The quantum field is infinitely patient with this process. It doesn't judge your old stories or rush you toward new ones. It simply responds to whatever films are playing most consistently, most emotionally charged, most deeply believed. This is why healing and transformation often happen gradually, like the slow changing of seasons, rather than the sudden flip of a switch as you breathe now. Feel how your awareness can move fluidly between being the observer and being the screen itself. You can witness the stories playing in your subconscious cinema, and you can also recognize yourself as the consciousness upon which these stories are projected. You are not trapped by these films, you are the space in which they play, the awareness that makes them possible. Some of the movies playing in your inner cinema might be inherited films, stories that belonged to your parents, your grandparents, your cultural lineage. These ancestral patterns, encoded in your nervous system through what science calls epigenetics, are not your fault, but they are your responsibility. You have the power to choose which inherited stories to keep playing and which to gently release. Other films might be more recent productions, created by trauma, heartbreak, or disappointment. These stories might feel very real, very urgent, very true. But even these are just movies, just temporary projections on the eternal screen of your consciousness. They can be witnessed, understood, honored for their protective intent, and gradually replaced with stories that serve your highest becoming. Tonight, as you rest in this awareness, you can appreciate the incredible intelligence of your subconscious mind. It has been working tirelessly, continuously, loyally, to create a coherent experience of reality based on the information it has received. It has been your faithful projectionist, playing the films it believes will keep you safe, help you belong, ensure your survival. But now, as a conscious adult, you can collaborate with this deeper intelligence. You can gently introduce new films, new stories, new possibilities. You can thank your subconscious for its devoted service while also updating its collection with movies that reflect who you are becoming rather than who you once had to be. The cinema of your subconscious mind is not a prison, it is a sacred space of creation, a place where the stories of your becoming are continuously being written and rewritten. You are the author, the director, the producer of your own inner films. And the quantum field, ever responsive, ever creative, stands ready to manifest whatever stories you choose to play most consistently, most lovingly, most authentically. What new films are ready to premiere in your inner cinema? What stories of possibility, of healing, of love are waiting to be projected onto the screen of your experience? What old movies might be ready for gentle retirement, honored for their service, but no longer needed for the person you are becoming? Rest now in this vast theater of consciousness, feeling how your awareness itself is the light that makes all projection possible, the eternal screen upon which all stories play, the peaceful witness to the ever-changing cinema of your beautiful, evolving soul. Let your body sink even deeper now, feeling how each exhale carries you further into this sacred space of discovery. Your muscles have released their daily tension, your breath has found its ancient rhythm, and now something exquisite is happening. You are beginning to feel the quiet dance that has been choreographing your reality since the moment of your birth. Within your body flows an intricate network of awareness, a living river of consciousness that scientists call your nervous system. But this is not merely a collection of nerves and neurons, it's a profound intelligence, a sacred communication system that connects every cell, every organ, every breath, to the infinite field of possibility that surrounds you. This nervous system of yours is engaged in a continuous, delicate dance between two fundamental states: expansion and contraction, safety and protection, love and fear. Like a flower that opens to the sun and closes in the storm, your nervous system is constantly reading the environment, not just the physical world around you, but the emotional, energetic, and quantum field in which you exist. Feel this dance. Now, as you rest in this peaceful darkness, notice how your body naturally knows when to open and when to close, when to expand and when to contract. Your nervous system is not thinking about these choices, is sensing, feeling, responding to the subtle frequencies of safety and danger that flow through your experience like invisible currents. When your nervous system senses safety, something magical occurs. Your heart rate becomes coherent, your breathing deepens, your muscles relax. In this state of expansion, your field of awareness opens like a flower blooming in slow motion. You become receptive to possibility, available for connection, capable of creativity and love. Your nervous system, feeling safe to explore, begins broadcasting a frequency of openness into the quantum field around you. But when your nervous system detects threat, whether real or imagined, present or remembered, it initiates the ancient dance of protection. Your heart rate increases, your breathing becomes shallow, your muscles tense for action. This is not a malfunction. It is a masterpiece of biological intelligence, a survival system refined over millions of years of evolution. Yet here's what makes this dance so fascinating. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between actual danger and perceived threat. It responds to the memory of an old wound with the same protective intensity as it would to a present danger. It reacts to the anticipation of rejection with the same physiological cascade as it would to an actual attack. This is why your inner world creates your outer experience so powerfully. Your nervous system is continuously broadcasting your internal state into the quantum field. And the field, responsive as always, begins collapsing possibilities that match your broadcasted frequency. When you feel safe, you attract experiences of safety. When you feel threatened, you magnetize situations that confirm your need for protection. But tonight, as you rest in this gentle awareness, you can feel how this dance is not happening to you, it is happening as you. You are not a victim of your nervous system's responses. You are the consciousness within which this sacred dance occurs. You are both the dancer and the dance, the observer and the observed. Your heart, that magnificent organ beating steadily in your chest, is not just pumping blood, it is the conductor of this neurological symphony. Scientists have discovered that your heart has its own neural network, its own form of intelligence that communicates constantly with your brain. When your heart rhythm becomes coherent, when it finds its natural flow of expansion and contraction, it creates a field of electromagnetic energy that extends far beyond your physical body. This heart-brain coherence is your nervous system's natural state of harmony. In this state, your inner world becomes a tuning fork, resonating with frequencies of peace, love, and possibility. Your electromagnetic field, generated by this coherent dance between heart and brain, becomes a beacon in the quantum field, attracting experiences that match your internal harmony. Feel this coherence now, as you breathe into the space around your heart. Notice how each breath naturally creates a gentle rhythm, an ebb and flow that synchronizes your heart rate with your breathing. This is not something you need to force or control, it is the natural intelligence of your nervous system finding its way back to balance. Your nervous system remembers every moment of safety you've ever experienced, every touch of love, every breath of peace. These memories are not stored only in your brain, they are encoded in your cells, your tissues, your very DNA. When you consciously choose to rest in safety, you are not just calming your present moment, you are accessing a vast library of peaceful experiences that your body has collected throughout your entire life. This is why healing happens not just through thinking differently, but through feeling differently. Your nervous system learns through experience, through repetition, through the gentle, persistent offering of new emotional patterns. Each time you choose to breathe deeply instead of holding your breath, each time you choose to soften instead of tensing, you are teaching your nervous system a new dance step. The quantum field responds to this learning with infinite patience and precision. It doesn't judge your nervous system's protective responses or rush you toward greater openness. It simply reflects back whatever frequency you are most consistently broadcasting, whatever emotional truth you are most deeply embodying. This is why trauma can feel so sticky, so persistent, not because you are broken or damaged, but because your nervous system, in its brilliant attempt to protect you, continues to broadcast frequencies of danger long after the actual threat has passed. Your body, faithful and devoted, keeps attracting experiences that confirm its need for vigilance. Its assumption that the world is not safe, but healing is always possible because your nervous system is infinitely adaptable, endlessly capable of learning new patterns. Through gentle, consistent experiences of safety, your nervous system can gradually update its assumptions about reality. It can learn to expand more often than it contracts, to rest more deeply than it protects, to trust more fully than it fears. As you breathe now, feel how your nervous system is not separate from the quantum field. It is a localized expression of the field itself. Your awareness, flowing through your neural pathways, is consciousness exploring itself through the sacred geography of your body. Your emotional responses are not just internal experiences, they are quantum events, waves of energy that ripple through the fabric of space and time. This is why your inner work matters so profoundly. When you choose to regulate your nervous system, when you consciously shift from contraction to expansion, you are not just changing your personal experience, you are contributing to the collective field of human consciousness. Your choice to feel safe makes it easier for others to feel safe. Your decision to embody love creates ripples of love that extend far beyond your personal boundaries. Your nervous system is engaged in a continuous conversation with every other nervous system around you, through subtle electromagnetic signals, through shared emotional frequencies, through the mysterious phenomenon of resonance. Your internal state influences and is influenced by the nervous systems of everyone you encounter. This is the sacred dance of human connection, nervous systems recognizing each other, responding to each other, co-regulating through the invisible bonds of shared consciousness. When you are in a state of coherent calm, your nervous system naturally helps others find their own calm. When you are centered in love, your field of coherence invites others into states of love. Tonight, as you rest in this understanding, you can feel how your nervous system is not just your personal navigation system, is your contribution to the collective awakening of human consciousness. Each breath you take in peace, each moment you choose expansion over contraction, each heartbeat that pulses with love. These are gifts to the entire web of consciousness of which you are a part. Your nervous system knows how to dance with the quantum field because it is made of the same essential substance, consciousness itself, exploring its infinite creativity through the sacred temple of your body. In your cells, in your neurons, in your heartbeat, the universe is experiencing itself as you, learning about love and fear, safety and danger, expansion and contraction through the miraculous instrument of your human experience. Feel this sacred dance now as you rest in the arms of sleep. Feel how your nervous system is always choosing, always responding, always creating. And in this choosing, in this responding, in this creating, you are participating in the most fundamental dance of existence, the eternal movement between being and becoming, between rest and action, between the infinite potential of consciousness and the beautiful limitation of form. What would it feel like to dance more often in the rhythm of expansion? What would shift in your reality if your nervous system learned to trust the safety that surrounds you? How might your life change if you allowed your heart and brain to find their natural coherence, broadcasting frequencies of peace and love into the quantum field of your becoming? Rest now in this sacred dance, feeling how your very breath is a prayer, your very heartbeat a blessing, your very existence a gift to the infinite intelligence that dreams itself into form through the beautiful, responsive, eternally creative dance of your nervous system. Close your eyes and breathe with me for a moment. Feel your body settling into this quiet space where the day's urgency dissolves and something deeper emerges. Tonight, we explore the tender places where your past and present meet, where old wounds become the very lens through which you see. Your world, your nervous system holds memory like water holds the shape of every vessel it has filled. Each experience, each moment of joy or pain leaves its subtle imprint in the tissues of your being. These memories don't simply fade, they become the unconscious architects of your perception, the invisible editors of your reality. Imagine your awareness as a camera and trauma as a filter placed over the lens long ago. This filter was once protection, a necessary shield that helped you survive moments when love felt dangerous or safety seemed impossible. Your younger self, in their infinite wisdom, learned to see the world through this protective glass scanning, for threats, preparing for disappointment, armoring against the possibility of being hurt again. But what once served as sanctuary now shapes every quantum moment of your existence. The observer effect, that beautiful principle where your attention collapses infinite possibilities into a single reality, becomes colored by these ancient patterns. You don't simply observe the world, you observe it through the accumulated sediment of every time you weren't held, every moment you felt unseen, every instance when love came with conditions. Your trauma responses create what we might call a quantum looper, repeating pattern where your nervous system's memories project themselves onto present moments, causing you to attract the very experiences that confirm your older stories about safety and belonging. The universe, in its perfect neutrality, reflects back to you whatever frequency you're broadcasting from the depths of your being. Feel into this with gentle curiosity rather than judgment. Your body learned to contract when vulnerability felt dangerous. Your heart learned to guard its tenderness when openness led to pain. Your nervous system learned to remain vigilant when rest felt like a luxury you couldn't afford. These were acts of love your being's fierce commitment to keeping you safe. But now, in this quiet moment, you can begin to notice how these protective patterns have become the very thing that keeps you from the love, safety, and belonging you most desire. The hypervigilance that once protected you now prevents you from recognizing genuine safety when it appears. The walls that once kept pain out now keep love at a distance. This is the paradox of trauma. It teaches us to fear the very things we need most for healing. Your nervous system, still operating from its ancient programming, continues to scan for evidence that the world is unsafe, that love is conditional, that you must earn your place in the hearts of others. And because you are the observer of your own reality, you unconsciously select from the infinite field of possibilities those experiences that confirm these beliefs. The person who abandons you feels like proof that you are unlovable. The opportunity that slips away feels like evidence that you don't deserve good things. The moment of criticism feels like confirmation that you are fundamentally flawed. Each experience becomes another thread in the tapestry of your trauma loop, reinforcing the very patterns that created the pain in the first place. But here, in this space of quiet reflection, you can begin to recognize these loops with compassion rather than resistance. You can feel how your nervous system has been doing its best to protect you, even when that protection has become a prison. You can sense how your body holds these memories not as punishment, but as a form of fierce lover determination to never let you be hurt in the same way again. The beautiful truth is that awareness itself begins to shift the quantum field around you. Simply noticing these patterns with kindness starts to loosen their grip. Your nervous system, feeling the safety of your own witnessing presence, begins to relax its vigilant stance. The trauma loop, held in the light of conscious attention, starts to unwind. You don't need to force this process or rush toward healing. You don't need to analyze every pattern or understand every trigger. You simply need to be present with what is, allowing your being to feel the safety of your own gentle awareness. Your quantum field responds to this shift in frequency, beginning to attract experiences that match your growing capacity for self-compassion. Feel your breath now, moving through your body like a gentle wave. With each exhale, you release the need to carry these protective patterns alone. With each inhale, you invite in the possibility that your nervous system can learn new ways of being in the world. You are not broken, you are a being who learned to protect yourself with exquisite intelligence, and now you are ready to discover what lies beyond the need for such protection. The trauma loop of perception is not your enemy, it is a teacher, showing you exactly where your healing wants to happen. It points to the places where your heart still holds old pain, where your nervous system still guards against ancient threats, where your being still believes stories that were once true but no longer serve you. As you rest here in this moment, feel the infinite field of possibility that surrounds you. Beyond the filters of old wounds, beyond the loops of protective patterns, there exists a reality where you are held, seen, and loved exactly as you are. This reality is not something you must earn or achieve, is something you remember, something you allow, something you gently receive. Your trauma responses were never obstacles to your healing. They were the very pathway through which your deepest wisdom could emerge. They taught you the language of your own nervous system, the geography of your own tender places, the exact locations where love wants to return. What if the very patterns that have caused you pain are actually the keys to your liberation? What if your trauma loop is not a prison, but a doorway showing you precisely where your quantum field is ready to shift, where your reality is ready to transform, where your heart is ready to remember what it has always known about love? Close your eyes and let your breath become the rhythm of transformation. Feel how each exhale releases the old stories, each inhale draws in new possibilities. Tonight, you rest in the sacred space where identity dissolves and reforms, like moonlight dancing on water. Who you be, believe yourself to be, creates a powerful gravitational field in the quantum realm. Just as a planet's mass bends space around it, your self-concept curves reality to match your deeper sense of identity. But here, in this gentle darkness, you can feel the fluid nature of who you are, how it shifts and changes like water finding its level, and how each shift ripples outward into new possibilities. Your identity has never been solid. It breathes with you, expands with your dreams, contracts with your fears. The stories you tell yourself about who you are become the invisible architecture of your experience. They whisper in the background of every choice, every reaction, every moment of hesitation or courage. Feel how your body holds these stories. Notice where tension lives in your shoulders, carrying the weight of who you think you must be. Sense how your chest expands or contracts based on the permissions you've given yourself to exist fully. Your nervous system has been recording these identity patterns since childhood, creating neural pathways that feel like truth but are simply well-worn paths in the forest of your consciousness. The quantum field responds not to your hopes or wishes, but to your deeper sense of identity. It reads the frequency of your being, the quiet hum of how you see yourself when no one is watching. This frequency becomes a magnet, drawing experiences that mirror your internal landscape back to you with perfect precision. But identity is not fixed. It exists in a constant state of quantum potential, collapsing into form only when observed by your attention. Right now, as you rest in this liminal space between wake and sleep, you can feel the observer effect at work within you. Each gentle breath becomes an act of observation, each moment of awareness a choice point in the quantum field of your becoming. Consider how many versions of yourself exist simultaneously in this field of possibility. The confident you, the uncertain you, the creative you, the wounded you, all living as probability waves until your attention collapses them into experience. Your identity is like a symphony with infinite variations, and you are both the composer and the conductor, choosing which movements to bring into the world. The stories that feel most true about yourself are often the ones that were never truly yours to begin with. They traveled through generations, carried in the nervous systems of those who loved you, passed down like heirlooms you never chose to receive. Your grandmother's fear of not being enough, your father's belief in limitation, your mother's pattern of self-sacrifice, these quantum patterns entangled with your developing sense of self before you knew you had a choice. Tonight, feel how these inherited patterns live in your body. Notice the subtle tension that rises when you imagine being fully yourself, unapologetically authentic. This tension is not resistance, it's information. Your nervous system speaking the language of old agreements, contracts signed in childhood, that no longer serve the person you're becoming. The quantum field of identity operates through coherence and resonance. When your internal sense of self aligns with your external expression, you create a state of quantum coherence that ripples through reality like a tuning fork finding its perfect pitch. This coherence doesn't happen through force or willpower. It emerges through the gentle dissolution of what you're not, revealing what you've always been. Your breath becomes the gateway to this dissolution, each exhale releasing the borrowed identities, each inhale drawing in the essence of your authentic self. Feel how your body knows the difference between who you pretend to be and who you truly are. Notice how it relaxes into truth, how tension dissolves when you stop performing and simply exist. The identity quantum field is constantly shifting, responding to your deepest beliefs about your worth, your capacity, your right to take up space in the world. These beliefs create quantum events, moments when reality reorganizes itself around your new understanding of who you are. A shift in self-concept creates a reality shift that ripples outward, changing not just your experience, but the very fabric of possibilities available to you. Think of identity as a quantum frequency that broadcasts continuously into the field of potential. When you operate from scarcity-based identity, you emit a frequency that attracts experiences of lack. When you embody abundance-based identity, you naturally draw abundance into your experience. This isn't about positive thinking, about the quantum mechanics of being. Your body holds the memory of every identity you've ever worn. The shy child, the rebellious teenager, the striving adult, all still alive in your cellular memory, creating interference patterns in your quantum field. Sometimes these old identities surface in your dreams, in moments of stress, in the space between thoughts. They're not wrong or bad, they're simply outdated versions of your software, ready to be updated with compassion and awareness. Feel how identity shifts naturally as you move deeper into rest. The roles you play during the day, partner, professional, begin to dissolve like salt in warm water. What remains is the essential you, the consciousness that has been witnessing all these identities, the awareness that remains constant through every change. This witness consciousness is your true identity, not the stories or roles or patterns, but the spacious awareness that observes them all. It's the part of you that existed before you learned to define yourself, the part that will remain after all definitions fall away. This awareness is quantum in nature, existing in a state of pure potential until it collapses into specific experience. Through the act of observation, the quantum field of identity is always responding to your deepest knowing of who you are, not who you think you should be, not who others expect you to be, but who you are in the quiet moments when all pretense falls away. This knowing lives in your body, in the way you breathe when you're alone, in the thoughts that arise when you're not trying to manage them. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, feel yourself dissolving into this quantum field of infinite possibility. Let your identity become fluid, malleable, open to transformation. Trust that as you rest, your consciousness is reorganizing itself around new patterns of being, new frequencies of existence that align with your deepest truth. The gravitational field of your identity is shifting, creating new orbits for experiences to follow. Tomorrow, you may find yourself responding differently to familiar situations, making choices that surprise even you. This is the quantum field at work, reorganizing reality around your evolving sense of self. In this space between thoughts, between identities, between possibilities, you are free. Free to be exactly who you are in this moment, without the weight of past definitions or future expectations. Your breath carries you deeper into this freedom. Each exhale a letting go, each inhale a welcoming of who you're becoming. What would it feel like to trust the quantum field of your identity completely? To let yourself be transformed by forces beyond your conscious control, to wake up tomorrow slightly different than you are today. Settle into this moment with me, letting your awareness become like still water, reflecting without distortion tonight. We explore one of the most profound mysteries that exists at the intersection of consciousness and reality, the curious dance between the one who watches and what is being watched. There is a beautiful paradox that lives at the heart of existence itself. The moment you turn your attention toward something, that very act of observation changes what you're observing. It's as if reality is so intimately responsive to your awareness that it cannot help but shift, adjust, and transform in response. To your gentle gaze, you are not a distant witness to your life. You are the active participant in its continuous creation. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to observe your own breath without changing it. The very act of watching your breath makes it different than it was when you weren't watching. Your attention, like a soft touch, alters the rhythm, the depth, the quality of each inhale and exhale. You cannot observe your breath without participating. In its transformation, this same principle extends to every aspect of your experience. When you observe your emotions with gentle curiosity, they begin to shift under your compassionate gaze. When you watch your thoughts with patient awareness, they start to slow, to space apart, to reveal the quiet that exists between them. When you notice your patterns with loving attention, they begin to loosen their grip, offering you new possibilities for how to be. The observer's paradox reveals something profound about the nature of consciousness itself. You are not a separate being looking at a world that exists independently of your awareness. You are intimately woven into the fabric of everything you experience. Your consciousness and your reality are not two different things. They are one seamless dance of awareness, knowing itself through infinite expressions. This is why the ancient traditions spoke of the self and the world as one. They understood what quantum science is now discovering. The observer and the observed are not separate entities, but different aspects of the same underlying consciousness. You are not in the world, you are the world becoming aware of itself. Through your unique perspective, feel this truth settling into your being. Your awareness is not a flashlight illuminating objects in a dark room. It is more like the sun that doesn't just reveal the landscape, but actually participates in its creation, warming the earth, feeding the plants, drawing water into clouds, participating. Over contraction, these choices become part of the quantum field that touches every other soul walking this earth. Your mother feels it when you find peace with your childhood wounds. Your children sense it when you release the patterns that no longer serve you. Your partner experiences it when you open to new depths of vulnerability. Your friends witness it when you choose self-compassion over self-judgment. The threads of connection that bind you to those you love carry the frequency of your transformation, allowing your healing to become their healing, your growth to become their permission to grow. But the entanglement extends even further than your immediate circle. That stranger on the street who catches your eye, there is a moment of quantum connection, a brief touching of fields that can carry the resonance of your inner state into their awareness. The person behind you in line at the store, the driver in the car beside you, the voice on the other end of the phone all are touched by the frequency you broadcast from the depths of your being. This is not metaphor or wishful thinking. This is the reality of existence at the quantum level, where particles that have once interacted remain connected across vast distances, affecting each other instantaneously regardless of the space between them. Your consciousness, your emotional field, your very presence creates similar connections with every person, place, and moment you encounter. The implications of this are both humbling and magnificent. Your choice to heal becomes a healing force in the world. Your decision to love becomes an invitation for others to remember their own capacity for love. Your willingness to expand becomes a permission slip for others to grow beyond their perceived limitations. Think of all the people who have touched your life: family members, friends, lovers, teachers, strangers who offered kindness in passing moments. Each interaction created invisible threads of connection, quantum entanglements that persist beyond the moment of contact. When you shift into greater peace, that peace ripples along these threads, reaching hearts that may desperately need to feel that such peace is possible. Your grandmother, whether still walking this earth or dwelling in the realm of memory, feels the ripple when you find forgiveness for old family patterns. Your first love, wherever they may be, senses the wave. When you discover what unconditional love truly means, your children, born or yet to be born, receive the gift of your emotional evolution through the quantum field that connects all generations. But perhaps most beautifully, your own heart receives the ripples of healing and love that others send through this interconnected web. You are not only a broadcaster of frequency, you are also a receiver, constantly being touched by the growth, love, and healing of others. In this very moment, someone somewhere is choosing love over fear, and that choice sends a wave of possibility through the quantum field that reaches your heart. Someone is forgiving an old wound, and that forgiveness creates a frequency that your nervous system can feel. Someone is opening to new levels of joy, and that expansion creates ripples that touch your own capacity for happiness. Someone is choosing courage over safety, and that courage becomes part of the field of possibility that surrounds you. This is the magnificent truth of quantum entanglement. At the level of consciousness, we are all healing each other, all growing each other, all loving each other back into wholeness through the invisible threads that connect every heart to every other heart. Your transformation is never a solitary act. It is always a gift to the whole, a contribution to the collective field of human possibility. As you breathe in this moment, feel the vast network of connection that surrounds you. Feel how your choice to be present, to be peaceful, to be open, to love sends waves of invitation through the quantum field. Your nervous system, as it settles into this recognition, begins to broadcast frequencies of safety and connection that others can feel in their own bodies. You are not alone in your healing. You are not separate in your growth. You are part of an infinite web of consciousness, where every choice toward love makes love more possible for all. Every moment of peace you create makes peace more accessible in the collective field. Every breath you take toward wholeness makes wholeness more available to every heart that beats in rhythm with the cosmic pulse of existence. The quantum entanglement of hearts means that your personal healing becomes a healing force in the world. Your individual peace becomes a gift to the collective nervous system of humanity. Your private moments of love become public invitations for others to remember their own capacity for love. Rest now in this truth. Feel the invisible threads that connect you to all life, carrying the frequency of your healing heart into the vast network of human consciousness. You are both the giver and receiver of love, both the healer and the healed, both the individual and the collective, breathing as one in the infinite field of possibility that connects all hearts to the one heart that beats at the center of existence. What ripples will you send tonight as you drift into sleep? What frequencies of love and peace will travel through the quantum field, touching hearts you may never know, creating possibilities you may never see, but contributing to the healing of the world in ways that only the heart can understand. Let your breath become the gentle wave that carries you into the ocean of frequency. Feel how each inhale draws in possibility, each exhale releases the static of the day. Tonight, you rest in the sacred space where consciousness becomes music, where your very being becomes the song that reality dances to. Every thought, emotion, and belief carries its own unique frequency, a signature vibration that calls similar experiences into your reality. Like a radio tuning into different stations, your consciousness naturally aligns with frequencies that match your internal state. Your heart knows this ancient language, this conversation between your inner world and the quantum field that surrounds. You feel how your body is a living instrument, each cell vibrating with the emotions you've carried, the beliefs you've held, the dreams you've nurtured. Your nervous system has been recording these frequencies since birth, creating a symphony of patterns that broadcast continuously into the field of potential. This is your quantum frequency, the unique resonance of your being that shapes the reality you experience. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, you can gently adjust your inner frequency, choosing thoughts and feelings that broadcast the reality you wish to inhabit. In this quiet space, you become both the transmitter and receiver of your own experience, the conscious creator of the vibrational landscape that surrounds you. Notice how different emotions feel in your body. Fear creates a tight, contracted frequency that seems to shrink your world. Joy expands through you like light, opening pathways to experiences that match its radiance. Anger pulses with sharp intensity, drawing back situations that mirror its heat. Each emotion is not just a feeling, it's a transmission, a quantum signal that reorganizes reality around its core vibration. Your thoughts create ripples in the quantum field, but your emotions give those ripples power. A fearful thought supported by anxious energy creates a different reality than the same thought held with curious detachment. The frequency of becoming isn't about controlling your thoughts, it's about becoming conscious of the emotional charge that amplifies them. Into experience, feel how your breath naturally adjusts the frequency of your being. Shallow breathing creates a scattered, anxious transmission. Deep, slow breathing generates a coherent wave that flows through your body like honey through warm stone. This breath is your tuning fork, helping you find the frequency of peace, the vibration of possibility, the resonance of your truest self. Your cellular memory holds the frequencies of every experience you've ever had. The joy of childhood summers, the fear of childhood rejections, the love of meaningful connections, still vibrating in your body's quantum field. Sometimes these old frequencies surface unexpectedly, creating interference patterns in your current reality. This is your body's way of offering you the opportunity to retune, to choose new frequencies that align with who you're becoming. The quantum field responds to coherence when your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs align in the same frequency. You create a powerful transmission that reality cannot ignore. This coherence isn't achieved through effort or force. It emerges naturally when you stop fighting different parts of yourself and allow them to find their natural harmony. Think of your consciousness as a radio station with infinite channels. Throughout the day, you unconsciously tune in to different frequencies: the worry station, the joy station, the possibility station, the limitation station. Each frequency you occupy draws experiences that match its vibration. The observer effect works through this tuning process, collapsing quantum potential into the reality that matches your predominant frequency. Tonight, feel yourself becoming aware of the dial. Notice what station you're currently tuned to. Is it the frequency of not enough, broadcasting scarcity into your experience? The frequency of struggle, creating resistance in your path? Or perhaps the frequency of becoming, where transformation flows like water finding its course? Your heart is the most powerful frequency generator in your body, creating an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your physical form. When your heart coherence aligns with your intention, you create a quantum signal that ripples outward, affecting not just your reality, but the reality of everyone around you. This is quantum entanglement at its most intimate, the way your frequency naturally attunes to and influences the frequencies of others. Feel how your heart rhythm shifts with your emotional state. Notice how it quickens with excitement, slows with peace, becomes irregular with stress. This rhythm is not just biological, it's vibrational, a drumbeat that helps set the tempo of your experience. As you breathe deeply, feel your heart finding its natural coherence, broadcasting the frequency of calm presence into the quantum field. The frequency of becoming is different from the frequency of wanting. Wanting carries the vibration of lack, the signal that what you desire is separate from who you are. Becoming carries the vibration of inevitable unfolding, the resonance of already being aligned with your desired reality. This shift in frequency creates a reality shift that changes not just what you attract, but how you experience what you already have. Your subconscious mind is like a vast library of frequencies, storing the vibrational patterns of every belief, every trauma, every moment of joy or sorrow. These stored frequencies continue to broadcast even when you're not consciously aware of them, creating the background music of your experience. As you rest tonight, feel these frequencies beginning to harmonize. Old discordant notes resolving into new melodies of possibility. The quantum field of consciousness operates like a vast orchestra, with every living being contributing their unique frequency to the symphony of existence. Your individual frequency matters not because it's separate, but because it's essential to the whole. When you align with your authentic frequency, you don't just transform your own reality, you contribute to the collective awakening of consciousness itself. Notice how silence contains all frequencies. In the spaces between your thoughts, between your heartbeats, between your breaths, lives the infinite potential of the quantum field. This silence is not empty, it's pregnant with possibility, vibrating with the frequency of pure potential, waiting to be born through your conscious choice. Your dreams tonight will be laboratories of frequency, spaces where your consciousness can experiment with different vibrational states without the resistance of waking logic. In the quantum realm of sleep, you can try on new frequencies like clothes, feeling how they fit, how they change the landscape of your inner world. The frequency of becoming isn't a destination, it's a way of being. It's the vibration of constant transformation, the resonance of trust in the process of unfolding. It carries the frequency of curiosity rather than certainty, of openness rather than control, of becoming rather than being fixed. As you surrender to sleep, feel your frequency, naturally adjusting to match the rhythm of regeneration, the vibration of healing, the resonance of becoming. Trust that as you rest, your consciousness is fine-tuning itself, aligning with frequencies that support your highest unfolding. Tomorrow, you may find yourself naturally gravitating toward experiences that match your new frequency. This isn't magic, it's the quantum mechanics of consciousness, the way reality reorganizes itself around the vibration of your being.